Hello, my name is Ember. Welcome back to my channel where I play The Sims 4. I'm really excited about the video I have for you all today, which I've been working on for quite a while now, and it's another installment in my Pride Flag themed series where basically I'm building a house in The Sims based on the colors of all the different pride flags in the game, and I'm also creating some Sims to live in that house also based on the pride flag colors. So the first one I did was the rainbow gay pride flag, and then the second one I did was the asexual pride flag, which was really cool because I got to make a bunch of ace vampires that lived in an ace themed Victorian home. And today I have some Aromantic Sims I made, and pretty soon I have another video coming up of the house I built for them that's also in the colors of the Aromantic pride flag. That is black, white, gray, and green. I decided to build a really modern house with a lot of plants and greenery everywhere, and I think it looks so cool and it really fits these Sims. So I'm excited to introduce you to these Sims today, and in a future video to show you around their house. I have a playlist with all of these pride flag builds and Sims that you can go watch if you'd like to check out some of the other ones I've done previously, and please let me know in the comments what you think, and if you have any suggestions for what pride flag I should do next, or maybe what those Sims should be like or what their house could look like. Now, at the beginning of this video, you kind of got a sneak preview of what the Aromantic house looks like because I have some footage of the Sims I created in one of the rooms of that house. I think you'll really like it. I think it turned out really cool, even if I went a little bit overboard on all the greenery. There's so many plant walls. But like I said, that video will be coming soon, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. If you haven't already, you might want to subscribe so that you can see my new videos. And yeah, so let's get into talking about these Aromantic Sims that I've created. So up first we have Arjun Meshram, who is aromantic and agender and uses he, they pronouns. I did have a little bit of a hard time finding anything cool for Arjun because I was using some of the more masculine tagged things, but honestly the game does not give really many good masculine tagged clothes. I really wish that they would kind of get rid of that whole gendering system anyways for the clothes, but that's besides the point. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Arjun. Arjun is unflirty. All of the adult Sims in this household are unflirty because, it's kind of like the aromantic trait, which I'll get to that, some of my issues with that a little bit later. But Arjun is unflirty, is a perfectionist and a music lover, and his aspiration is to become a musical genius. So basically he just really likes making music. They have a bunch of instruments in their room, and that's sort of what they do as a job, is just make music, working from home mostly. But I like to give these Sims sort of a storyline, something that if you wanted to play with them, you could sort of work on that. You could get Arjun into the music career or have him make really whatever type of music you're interested in. I think that the music Sims can make in this game is really fun, so I do like playing with that. I also went through and gave the Sims a few likes and dislikes, and I gave them some various skills, so they're not starting at 0 for every single skill. So Arjun does have a few skills and various musical instruments and stuff like that. I also have been giving all of the Sims for my Pride Flag series, for the likes and dislikes, I'm having them all like the colors of their pride flag. So what that means is for this household, all of the Sims like the colors green, black, gray, and white, just because I think it's kind of a cool way to use that new likes and dislikes feature. Now up next we have Nisha Meshram, who is Arjun's sister. I wanted for the Aromantic Sims to have some different types of household dynamics, because a lot of times when we make households in The Sims, it's oh, here's the parents and children in this nuclear family all living together. But I wanted to have some different dynamics because I think that that's something really cool as an aromantic person myself, to look at different ways that we can create families and create households and just those networks of support. So yeah, Arjun and Nisha are siblings and they live together, along with Nisha's queer platonic partner Aspen and Aspen's kid, who we'll get to in a bit. I think Nisha is a really cool Sim. I'm so glad I ended up changing her hair to the green with the the rings in it. I think it's so cool and suits her. And, I have the colors of the Aromantic Pride Flag with like my Sims hair. So a little bit about Nisha. She is like an environmental activist. I put her in I think it's called like the politician career, but I'm like specifically in the activist branch. It's, of course the Sims combines like becoming a politician with like being an activist. And she has like, it's one of the eco lifestyle aspirations. So like she wants to, make the world a greener place. And she just really cares about the environment. She's also very outgoing. She's a vegetarian and she is also unflirty. But yeah, she really just wants to make a difference in the world. And she's just very like, she puts herself out there and talks to people and just wants to get stuff done. She's really into the wellness skill as well and gardening. I put a bunch of like yoga mats and like meditation stools all throughout their house. So she definitely likes to partake in a bit of yoga and meditation. Honestly, I'm really excited for the new spa day refresh. I think that it'll work really well with these Sims. And I'm excited to like add maybe some nail polish for them and like try out some of the new wellness things. And I don't know if I'll give them any of the like new traits or aspirations. I'm not sure, but I do think those are really cool. Oh yes, and of course Nisha is also an Aro Ace lesbian. I don't know. I think that Aro Ace lesbians are really cool. I know a few, and like they're just really cool people. And some of the ones that I know are also like very like environmental, just very like environmental and like connected to like growing things and like taking care of the earth and like, I don't know. So I was kind of inspired by that. I like to like none of these Sims are like, exactly based on any particular person, but I do like to take some inspiration from real people because like, as I want to put this representation in my game and for like other people to use as well in The Sims. And I want it to like reflect the diversity that actually exists in the world. And so I like, taking a little bit of inspiration, whether it's for personality or like a name or a style into my Sims, just because I feel like it makes it a lot more real. And it makes them, at least for me, it makes the Sims sort of come alive to me because I can like imagine the type of person they might be. But yeah, I think I gave Nisha some really cool outfits. I feel like they're all sort of in a particular style, but I don't really know what I would call it. So yeah, let me know if you have an idea like what you would call the kind of style that Nisha has. I feel like it's fitting for being like sort of a public like speaker or like environmental activist. I don't know. And yeah, I mentioned about how I like was glad I changed Nisha's hair to green. I know you can't really see that in this video because I don't like recording when I'm like making the base of the Sims, if that makes sense. Like, because I feel like I haven't really figured out who they are yet. So I like to sort of figure out some general things about them and like how I want them to look and just some like personality attributes before I start really like working on their outfits and recording that. It also just feels sort of like personal, and I don't know, I think there's a lot of room for a lot of people might be kind of weird. I don't know, I've just seen some Sims videos showing creation of Sims that it just felt really insensitive and weird, and it's like people get really weird about bodies and faces, and yeah, I don't need all of that. So I just sort of like to present the Sims as like, this is who they are, and here's a video of me figuring out their outfits and stuff. And I might change stuff around a little bit, but yeah. So I started out like, I don't even remember what hair I had for Nisha at first, but then I thought like, oh, it'd be really cool if their hair was sort of also the Aromantic Pride Flag colors. And I did end up giving Aspen like white hair too, and I thought it was like such a good haircut. I was like, I know I've seen this on people and it would be perfect for Aspen. And I like went and looked up pictures of like the kind of thing I was thinking of and like picked the hair that was close to that, and I really liked that. And Nisha's hair, I just saw the like eco lifestyle hair with all those little rings in it, and I was like, this is perfect for like the kind of style and like an environmental activist and stuff. And yeah, it was just kind of cool because I ended up with Sims with like black, white, and green hair. I didn't have anyone with gray hair because I don't know, I didn't really think it would fit any of them. I didn't really want to give like the kid gray hair, though. I mean, you could definitely rock some gray hair, like maybe dye it gray or something. But yeah, I thought that was cool that I could have like sort of the colors of the Aromantic Pride Flag even just represented in their hair. And next we have Aspen. I love Aspen so much. Like, her style is just so cool. I really like making Sims with like this kind of style. So Aspen is a trans woman. She is aromantic and pansexual. And as I mentioned before, she's in a queer platonic partnership with Nisha. So yeah, I really like, I've just been recently thinking about queer platonic partnerships a lot and like how cool they are. It's just really great to see people like talking about them and being in them, and just sort of like queering the very idea of what a relationship is like and like the boundaries between romantic and platonic and like the things that you can do with people. Yeah, you can live with whoever, like you can raise kids with whoever. You don't have to be in like a romantic relationship or anything. So I think it's really cool, like even though the kid in this household is like biologically Aspen's kid, I guess, really she's raised by like the whole household. They all, help take care of her, and they're all just a big family. And I think that's really cool. So Aspen is also unflirty, as I mentioned. All three of the adults are unflirty. She is also self-assured and a green fiend. So I felt like, maybe her and Nisha sort of bonded over this like care for the environment and just sort of their interest in like wellness and gardening and stuff like that. So yeah, Aspen is a green fiend, and she's also in university. I thought it would just be cool to have her like sort of doing pursuing like a communications degree. She has the aspiration that came with like university, so like wanting to be an academic. I don't know if it like really fits her personality that much, but I just figured she's in university, so might as well give her that aspiration. But maybe I'll give her one of the new ones with the spa day refresh, because I think they're going to be new aspirations, so that could be cool. And I had Aspen do like a communications degree because I thought it seemed like a cool thing for her to pursue. There's a lot of options with that. And I feel like she could maybe work together with Nisha to do this like environmental activism. Maybe they could like work together, or, Aspen could become a journalist or a writer or any of those sorts of things. And I said that I would talk about the unflirty trait and sort of the way that romance and aromanticism is treated in The Sims. Honestly, I'm not very happy with how it is. It is nice that there is an unflirty trait, but it's just not really aromantic. Like, it's not exactly the same thing. And also, like, there's certain interactions that are only, like, they're seen fully as romantic interactions. You can only do them as romantic interactions, so an unflirty sim will never like them. Like, offering to give a massage or whatever. So you can't be unflirty and, like, giving massages with your friends, like, or I think, like, holding hands or stuff like that. So that is kind of frustrating, which it just reflects like the way that society is and the way that society sees like romance and a lot of those things. Also, of course, the game connects sex and romance as the same thing. Like, if you wanna, woohoo, it's based on your romance with someone, based on like those flirty interactions. So there's no like understanding that, Aspen is pansexual. She might want to, woohoo with people that she's not romantic with, because she's also aromantic, but you can't really do that in the game. And because Aspen is a unflirty sim, it might make it even hard to do that, because like she won't really like flirty interactions or will become uncomfortable with it. So it's just kind of like, I wish that it was done better. There's still a lot of like normativity around how romance and sex and all of that work in the game, and just in broader society, which is why it's reflected in the game. There's like another example is like, you can't really do polyamory in The Sims 4. Like, it's basically just treated as like cheating, and like you better hope people don't find out. You can do the serial romantic aspiration and get the reward trait of player, which, yeah, again, it's framing it as cheating basically, which makes it so that your partners don't get jealous of you having multiple partners, but it doesn't allow like your partners to also have multiple partners, and like you'll still get jealous of them, I think, like if they flirted with someone else. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, I just wish that there was more recognition of like different ways of doing relationships and stuff, and like that it was easier to play out those things. And I've seen people be like, oh, I really wish that in the game like there was more consequences for cheating, and like it would physically stop your Sims from sleeping in the same bed if they caught someone cheating, or like it would stop them from, you know, being on good terms. But I think it's like, while it can be fun to have those challenges in the game, it also can just sort of reinforce a lot of normative ways of looking at relationships. And I do like when there's some flexibility, when you can make up the story yourself and not have it like put on your sim so that you're punished and like you can't choose to do something else. Because it is a storytelling game, and I like being able to tell stories that are realistic to my experiences and the experiences of like people I know and people in my community. Another thing I wanted to talk about is like, so I played with Raj Rasoya, who's from like City Living. He's like a character that comes with the pack, and he's a chef, and sort of his narrative is like his mom wants him to get married, but he doesn't really care about romance. And I thought that was really cool that there's like, oh, this sim who's unflirty. So played with him for a while, and I had an experience that was like, wow, okay, this is realistic to being aromantic, because it's horrible. And like basically people being horrible to aromantic people. But basically I ended up going to the romance festival because, you know, I was living in San Myshuno and there's all these festivals. And so I don't remember why exactly we ended up going to the romance festival, but I just was like, oh, okay, I'll have Raj like go and talk to the romance guru and just see, you know, if she has anything interesting to say. So he goes up and asks like for her advice or her wisdom or whatever. And she says something just really, really terrible. I mean, to say to anyone, but especially to say to like an aromantic person, which, yeah, if you don't want to hear it, maybe skip ahead a bit because it kind of hurt me to hear it. Basically, she said, a life without love is not a life worth living, which I was just like, wow. And like clearly in the context of the romance festival, this is about romantic love, and I just can't, like, they put that in the game. That's so horrible. And the fact that it was actually like the person that she said it to was my aromantic sim, I was like, yeah, that's accurate. It doesn't make it suck less though. But yeah, that sort of thing in this game and in, you know, in society is what makes me want to do things like this, to make sims that actually represent us and like are cool and exciting and have fun storylines and express the diversity that actually exists in the world. And I like to see that in my game. So I hope that, you know, you enjoy seeing these sims that I create. And if you ever want to download them and put them in your game, I always put my gallery ID down in the description of my videos, so you can go and download them for yourself if you want to, you know, play with them, or even just put them like in the world so that your sim has more interesting people to interact with, and it's not just like all the like obligatorily like cis-het allo sims that the game just sort of automatically generates, you know? Alright, now I have rambled on a little too long, and I need to make sure to tell you about Alexis before this video ends. So, as I said, Alexis is like biologically related to Aspen, but, you know, everyone in the household helps raise her and take care of her. And Alexis is a geek, so she really likes like video games and collectibles and, you know, comic books and stuff like that. And she's also a whiz kid, so she's really into chess and just wants to learn lots of things. I haven't really said like, oh, Alexis is definitely aromantic, though they do have the aromantic flag in their room, because I do feel kind of weird about the idea of like, oh, you were born into an aromantic family and therefore you're aromantic, you know? It's like, So yeah, I tend to like to let my Sims kids just sort of figure out whoever they want to be, although, you know, it's kind of funny because you basically have to decide for them when you're playing a Sim, but still, I really like all these Sims, and I hope that you've enjoyed watching me make them and learn a little bit about them. And if you did, make sure to give this video a like and maybe leave a comment letting me know what you liked. Oh, and now I'll show just a few screenshots of, you know, their life in their house, some more sneak peeks of that house that I built, and just them spending some time together. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.